Welcome back to Desertwood Days. I am here with Mr. Jovan Taylor.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Such a pleasure, such a pleasure. I'm digging that ponytail up there.
Thank you. Had to look fancy. My first TV interview.
Love it, love it. So, Jovan, you are a filmmaker.
That is correct.
That is awesome. It is so awesome to see all the young filmmakers.
Honestly, there's not that many young filmmakers out there. I guess it's just more of like they're scared. They're scared of failing in the film industry
Hmm.
because like it's honestly a truly terrifying thing. Like when I first started it, I was just like, what exactly do I? What am I supposed to do? Like I didn't go to school for any of it. I'm just all self-taught.
You're all self taught?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So, what inspired you to get started since you're self taught?
Honestly, it had to be just horror films, like horror movies. I grew up with constantly. I would just watch them, even though I was scared of them.
That's what I'm saying. Why are you guys all in these horror flicks? I remember everyone being scared of horror flicks.
Honestly, but
Then wouldn't go to bed at night.
yeah, that's how it was. But I didn't start actually taking filmmaking seriously till like senior year in high school when I wrote out an entire TV series. It was called Young Blood. I had planned out for 3 seasons. It was a supernatural based action drama, basically about this vampire covenant that has to team up with different supernatural entities while protecting their identity from the town. Everything was planned out, ready to go.
And
Like
this was in your senior year?
yes, I still have everything. I have friends involved, teachers even. The principal's gonna let me like film at the school and everything.
Okay, we got to stop right here and back up. So, there had to be some time and a place before this for all these ideas. I mean, was there family members or something that happened when you were younger to
That my brother-in-law Brian, he did like drawing and filming, and there was this time when I was 8, and he said, "Hey, do you want to help me shoot this film?" I'm like, "Okay, sure, it'll be fun." So we shot a quick little 5 minute short horror film, and it was fun. I guess it was that moment that the seed was planted,
uh-huh.
and throughout the time, I was just started to watch more and more films. I guess it just bloomed from that. But since all the films I saw were just all horror, it was just seeds for horror that grew, pretty much.
Wow, wow. So, well, I guess you answered that question, how you got immersed in the horror. So, I've been hearing the buzz term storyteller quite a lot lately. Do you consider yourself a
Oh,
storyteller?
hands down, yes.
Hands
When
down.
it comes to basically, I've studied Wes Craven's films. He was like the main reason why I got into horror. Like the first horror film I saw was Scream.
Mm.
Like Scream was my hands down favorite, even though it scared me as a kid. Like I would like watch it, but I would, like hide behind the corner of the couch, type of thing. But it's like I just watched his storytelling again from Scream 1, 2, and 3, even from like Nightmare on Elm Street. It was just all one solid story. It just like
Mm-mm.
revolved around Sydney and like every like the truth was unfolding and how like in Scream 3 how he was able like to go back to the beginning and reveal truths. I'm like that was like a full circle right there.
Lord.
So I appreciate him and the people that did the Saw franchise.
Uh,
'Cause-
oh gosh,
I
you are deep in the horror. Let
am.
me tell you a story. I remember the first time my mom went to a movie with me. I took her to see I don't know if you remember Chainsaw
Oh
Massacre.
yes.
I had to walk my mom out. My mom does not do blood.
That film, that was a terrifying film.
Yes, my mom does not do blood. So I was being nosy on your Facebook page, and on your about you mentioned Wes Craven
hmm
and Steven Spielberg, I believe. No, was it Steven?
Stephen King.
Stephen King. Tell us what you said there.
So pretty much like the way, because those were like the two main people that got me into horror, especially Wes and Stephen King. And with Stephen King, like he's a great storyteller. He's a great storyteller because it's not just like one specific place. Stephen King has an entire world. Like
Mm-hmm.
every creature from his books, they all coexist in his universe. And I thought that was like the best thing ever. I'm just like, the fact that all these books, like even though they don't take place in the same time period, they still link to each other. So I'm like, I want to study that style. So I started to read up more Stephen King. I got immersed in it. I'm like, this man is really terrifying. Like this man can write some truly spine tingling stuff. So it
Mm-mm.
was so from studying him and then studying Wes Craven, it was just like those two, their minds just like locked in. So I built my style of screenwriting and the rate thing from what I've learned from them over the years.
This man is deep in his horror. I'm just looking at you. Look, you're just deep in it. Jason and Michael, watch out because he's gonna create some creatures that's gonna tear you apart.
Oh, I actually have this franchise. It's called the Cat Killer. It's pretty much my love letter to the Scream franchise. So it's pretty much like the standard slasher '80s vibes. So it's
Mm,
because Scream, it made people scared to like answer their phones at night or be
right.
alone. But with Cat Killer, it will make people scared to hire babysitters or let their child go babysit, because the story of Cat Killer follows the notorious serial killer Nancy James, who kills the kid she babysits, and
Oh
then she
Lord.
stalks and terrorizes a small town. So it has like the old school horror vibes, but
Mm-hmm.
like with like a splash of screaming as well. It's like that
Mm,
whole world is just like a love letter to the Scream franchise.
mm. So tell us about have you filmed and had tell us about your first film.
Falling Hearts. That was when I made my first directorial debut. That was all thanks to my friend Jason Harris at Real Z Productions. He actually helped me write a proper screenplay. Because
Okay.
at first I was getting it, but I didn't know there was like different formats to it. So when I sent him my first one, it was A Mother's Love. It was about a mom who was a former serial killer but then stopped because she had a child, but then her ex husband was trying to blackmail her, so she kind of like fell back into it. The story was good, format was horrible, and Jay was very blunt. Jay was like, the story is good, but the formatting is not that
Uh-huh.
well. So like through over the years, he was helping me. I met him in 2016, and then we filmed Falling Hearts in 2019, and that was where all that magic came to be. I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous. It was nervous because like growing up, I had a speech impediment, so I stutter. And that always
Uh-huh.
made me like so self conscious about everything.
Oh,
But then
okay.
I'm like, when I got on set, I didn't have any like jitters, wasn't nervous. Everything just flowed perfectly, and everyone was
Do you
amazing.
act also?
Yes, I do. Yeah,
Okay.
when I act, it helps me because like I don't stutter. Because
Really?
I yeah, because stuttering is pretty much just like there's a wavelength in your brain and it skips a beat. So you
Oh,
gotta like have a constant rhythm or pattern so you can flow smoothly. And
okay.
I noticed that when I act, I can trick my brain to thinking I'm someone else. So acting is the one time that I don't stutter, and it gives me
Really?
so much
That's
power.
awesome.
It's the most empowering thing ever.
Mm-mm. You know what? And I love that you said that, Jovan, because I have a disabled child, and I think she was pretty like 4 before she even started to speak,
Mm-hmm.
and she's always had a speech impediment, and her speech still isn't that great. But you know what? Growing up, that's hard on children
Oh
because
yeah.
people teasing you or
Mm-hmm.
people looking at you like you're weird. Or I mean, so you know what? I'm glad that you found a way. But what I was getting at is that people talk about a disability,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't notice all the abilities, and you found the ability to get past that
Yep.
disability by tricking your mind, tricking that disability,
Pretty
let's
much.
say, is what
Yeah.
you did. That
Honestly,
is
and it was the most empowering things. Like when I filmed Falling Hearts, that was like a boost of confidence I needed for so long. So when I
right.
filmed that, I'm like, can't no one tell me anything. This
Yeah.
speech impediment can't stop me no
No,
more.
it can't. Does it still bother you?
Like it does, but it only like pops out when I get like excited. So
Oh,
when I'm like
okay.
excited about something
Uh
cool, I
huh.
gotta like slow down, deep breaths, I get everything out.
Well,
Not
I stutter when I get excited too. So I mean,
right.
that is awesome. That is awesome. So you did your first film.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think when you saw it?
Ah, I was in tears, honestly. It
Mm.
was just like tears of joy because, like, all these years of hard work and just like getting turned down left and right, and people saying, "Oh no, you need school experience for that. Oh no, you can't do it. You're too weird. You're odd. You're off." I'm just like, No,
You're
I'm
too
pretty.
weird.
Yeah.
And you know what? We hear that. But you know what? Being a filmmaker, being an actor, being an artist, we're all weird.
Honestly,
Okay, for whoever says that,
hmm
evidently they're not weird.
right?
So they're not an artist.
Exactly. And I'm like they call me weird because like I just loved horror so much. Like no matter what time of the year it was like
Uh-huh.
it's like that's so weird. But I'm like I took something that they found weird and I
Mm,
found that like there's a whole field where I can just dive into and be as weird as I want, and people be like,
right.
that's the most creative horror movie I've ever seen.
I love it.
Because basically my goal in horror is to just like redefine what horror is.
Right.
Because I feel like that horror's kind of like fell off from what it was before. Because back then it was
Mm,
like pure terror.
because people kind of for a while got tired of the slasher, scream, blood. They got tired of it for a while because
Yeah,
it seemed like they were all.
yeah. That's honestly what's like back then. The big crave was just slasher. So like Scream, Jason, Chucky, Michael. Those were like the big kings of horror. So every other
Mm-hmm.
film just kind of followed their foundation pretty much. But then nowadays it's more just like jump scares, hauntings, zombies. It's like stuff that's scary, but it's not like oh my god, like I'm terrified at
Right.
night thing. Like I want people to actually like to leave the theater after seeing my film and just be like, "Yo, walk me to my car. I'm scared." Like that film terrifies me.
Right.
Like I want to
You
make a
want
horror
to take
film.
them back to, I'm going to say, the old days
Yes,
of those type of horror flip
hmm
without duplicating what they did,
exactly.
creating it into your vibe.
Yes, that's what I
Well,
want.
you brought some media today, right?
Yes, I
So
did.
let's take a look at what you brought.
I fucking love you! I've been there with you through everything, and now this is what I get?
Yeah, this is what you get. Because if you would have listened to me, we wouldn't be here.
I'm not apologizing for fighting for something that I love.
You wasted your time.
How the hell can you even say that?
Because I've been having an affair for the last 6 months, Daisy.
You're lying.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about what was going on there.
So for Falling Hearts, it's a story about a married couple that's been having struggles in their relationship. So the wife, Daisy, she's kind someone for a couple's flight class, but then something goes horrible. Plane crashes, the pilot dies, and then leaves them stranded on the mountaintop. And so basically, all the tension they had in their relationship kind of just like erupts, and then like she sort of just snaps on them.
So you know what I love that you have a plot to you. It's not
Oh, yeah.
just a slasher. Let's just kill
Oh, yeah.
everybody. You have a storyline behind
Oh
it.
yeah, honestly, because like basically, like growing up, I've always seen myself as like tragic heroes. Because like with tragic heroes, they're more real, they're more relatable. So
Mm.
with every horror film I make, I always try to have like it be like that. Even though that yes, they're the villain, but you also see that they're a tragic hero inside as well. So there's always things that makes them tick.
Okay.
And for Falling Hearts, what makes that one so special is that that the song that was just playing is "Drowning" by Jensen Ackles. So there are two songs by Jensen Ackles himself that are in that short film that means the world to me.
Oh, okay. So you brought another one. Let's take a look at it also.
On your way and see and
That was the trailer, and that song playing was "Sounds of Someday," also by Jensen Ackles.
Oh, that's one of your favorites.
Oh yeah, that man is amazing. He actually inspired me to start acting too, though. So
Really?
yes, during his time on Supernatural, I legit memorized all of his lines.
Awesome. Really enjoyed that. So what's next for Jovan?
I say the next move for me would be trying to pitch off Cat Killer, try to get that filmed, and then I have another feature script that's actually a non-horror, and that one is special to me, and that one is called Riders. That one's based on a true story of something that I experienced with my first year in the film industry.
Okay, that's wonderful. So the good thing is that being the young filmmaker, you have plenty going for you, which is good. So do you see yourself as someone that would also be a teacher?
Oh
or,
yes.
or someone that will motivate other young filmmakers in this field?
Honestly, yes, that's what I'm trying, because I've met a lot of film people out there that have like the passion, but they're like just discouraged because like people won't, they won't give them that chance. And I've been there before too, but like
Right.
it's because of Jay. He gave me that one shot in the dark that I became who I am today. So I just want to be like that one spark. So if there's any like film people out there that's like, hey, can you help me on this script? I'm like, sure, absolutely. Let me see what I can offer you to help you grow.
So do you think that they're not giving them the opportunity because of schooling?
Yes, because basically in the professional industry, it's basically just who you know and like
Mhm.
like do they have a name attached.
Right.
So they want people fresh out of school, but in school they don't really teach you everything that you're actually gonna know. Like
Right.
I've learned more from just hands-on Jay and from seeing other people than I will actually learn from school.
Wow. Wow. So that would be a perfect opportunity for you to give back
Honestly,
by
yeah,
supporting and helping other young aspiring filmmakers.
that is the goal. That is the plan. I want to just help inspire as many people as I can, because like everyone has ideas. Like I've
Right.
met people that like just jot down little stories. They will make amazing scripts. I'm
Mm.
like, just keep going. You have a script. You have a story. I could turn into a movie. Like let's
Right.
do something. Let's make
Right.
some magic.
And stories is all of what we have in here. I mean, you can
Mhm.
write a story maybe about that candle.
Honestly,
I mean, stories are everywhere. Tell us about one of your most memorable projects.
it would definitely still have to be Falling Hearts. When it was the second day of filming, we were up on a sunny slope mountain. We had to carry all the film equipment up on there, and we were filming a scene where the actress playing Daisy had to scream. We did like 5 takes, and like during the sixth take, a cop came up the hill because someone called and thought someone was getting murdered.
Oh my goodness.
And it was just him by himself, and he came all the way up the hill just to see what was going on. I'm just like,
Poor
you are
guy.
brave, though. You are brave to come to a call like that by yourself. But that was a fun experience. I'm like, yes, that scream was so real that someone actually called. So I'm
Right.
like, that was a fun and just a memorable moment
I
altogether.
tell you, I wanted to call the cops on my this dog last night in my neighborhood barking all night long. Your style, how would you describe your style of filmmaking?
My style of filmmaking, it's unique and original, but yet when directing wise, I'm kind of like Stanley Kubrick as well. It's like I'll have you redo a certain scene like 400 times until it's right, but I'll make sure that you have fun with it. Cause like when I film my horror films, like everything like it's good, but when it comes to like the death scenes or like certain like serious shots, I need it to be like seen in a certain way so that the audience can understand why that angle is shot how it is.
You've done so much horror. Would would you be interested in doing anything outside of horror? What if you got this really good gig and it wasn't horror, and maybe it's something you're not even interested in?
Oh, with honestly, yeah, it's like that. Like, yeah, I'm horror pretty much all the time, like 24/7. But like that's just the found, like that's just like the standing point of my screenwriting. Horror helped me become a screenwriter. I've done like dramas, comedies, like, and yes, they're all good. But it's like at the end of the day, if someone said I need like a horror script that's never been seen before, that would be done in like 3 days max.
Uh-huh.
3 days max. But if it's like a drama comedy, it's like, yeah, I could do that.
You know, a lot of times the things that people write about, they're associated with it in some way. Whether it's comedy because they're just a
Mm-hmm.
comedic type person, whether it's music because they're involved in music. Yours is horror. Would you say that you could see yourself? I mean, is there a piece of you that guided you towards horror?
For a piece of man got me, so I would honestly say yeah, because like horror is, I don't know how to explain, like horror has just been something that I've just been constantly pulled towards. Like Halloween's just been like my favorite time of the year, and it's like I've just constantly been pulled towards it. So I would say like horror, I guess it's just like it's an adrenaline rush pretty much. It's like you're just watching it and you're at the edge of you, and you're at the edge of your your seat. You're just like what's gonna happen next.
Right.
Will she live? Will she die? Like, what's gonna happen to everyone else? It's just like, I guess it's just like, it's fascinating. I'm just like intrigued by it.
So what do you do for your adrenaline rush when you're not filmmaking?
Honestly, when I'm not filmmaking, I'm either writing or just doing music.
Really? So when you get that get to start in your filmmaking, you really jump into it.
Oh yeah, honestly, I am on it 100% of the time. I have a total of 85 scripts that I've done that's like horror and drama, and they're all done, final draft. Everything's just ready
Really?
to go.
That's a lot of work.
Oh
You've been really busy.
yeah, it's like pretty much like, it's not even like it's a job. It's like, or career is just like, it's fun. Like,
it's what you love
yes,
doing.
I love doing it. It's like horror is just like, I can just pour hours or years into a script, and it's just like, it's gonna be perfect. I know it.
Wonderful. So what's next for Jovan?
Honestly, my next move is just trying to fully branch out Morning Sun Production and have that be like the next big name horror film company for Arizona.
Okay.
So because there's Blumhouse, but I want like Morning Sun to be like the horror home for Arizona. I
and
give
that's such a
Arizona
nice,
something.
catchy name.
Right?
So where can our audience find you?
Oh, I am on IMDb under Jovan Taylor, or Instagram, The Real Prince of Horror. I have stuff on there, and Facebook at Jovan Morningstar.
Wow. It was such a pleasure speaking
It
with
was
you
honest.
today.
It was great being here. Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you. And thank you for joining us today here at Desertwood Days, and we will catch you next time.